Bradley's back with a brand new sneak peek of a painting I'm working on. I know a lot of you, I remember my last video kind of mentioned I'd be, sharing a sneak peek of my newest painting. And basically, this painting is titled Valley of the Dead. I think I mentioned that on my last video. And I know you're all wondering, what does that mean exactly? It's about 1/4 of the way done. I got a long ways to go, But I did manage to get the whole background, the sky done, with the moon floating through, stuff like that. So it's illuminating this valley down here. Now you're probably wondering, why Valley of the Dead? There is a great reason for that. If you look really closely here, you see all those little black dots in the center section there? So like a deep valley there. That's why it's called Valley of the Dead, because you're looking downward at this graveyard. These are actually tombstones and stuff like that. All these, I got a lot, like I said, folks, it's only about 1/4 of the way done. But all these are tombstones and stuff like that. They're kind of like, and we got the larger outskirts of the valley right here. You're kind of looking downward. You get that sense you're looking downward. See, if you look at these peaks, right, all these land masses, what do you want to call them, they kind of go downward into like a valley, which is deep in the center of the painting. Same with this side over here. You see kind of like a slope going down, stuff like that, and basically you're kind of like looking, this is where your focal point is going to be, right here. And like I said, I got the background already done, the sky and the mountain range in the background, or hills or something. We don't even really know what the hell is back there, right? Look at it, so I kind of made it all misty back here. Now this is where your sky kind of ends right here. It goes up and it kind of ends right there with the moon over there, kind of illuminating like this section over here, right? To kind of give us some kind of like a midnight ambience type thing, creepy and dark and foreboding, like I like to do. And I kind of did all these peaks, these higher peaks. I actually did this whole thing one night, believe it or not, about 3 hours. I was just really, really psyched about this painting because I wanted to kind of do something in this vein. So all these valleys are going downward. They go up higher here. They're going downward towards the valley in the middle with the tombstones, basically. So there's a lot of work to be done here. I started adding all these trees, dead trees, and I got so much more work to do here, folks. And then up here is still going to be a higher plateau, so you're really going to be looking really down at this valley down here. I wanted to make it really deep, and I think I've achieved that, because I want the viewer to kind of get the idea that if he's standing up here or back here, right here, he's going to be looking at something down there trying to figure out what the hell. Is that a graveyard down there? Of course it is. He doesn't understand that. I do. You do now. But whoever's traveling on this road down here and up on these mountain ranges, or what do you want to call them, rock formations on both sides over here, he's going to be looking directly down at all this stuff right here, trying to figure out, is this an ancient graveyard, or is it just, it's just, mankind has not ever discovered, except maybe the people who buried all these people here, something like that, possibly. This could be like an ancient burial ground of some sort, I'm not sure how I would describe it other than that. But like I said, I got the background completely done here. All this stuff right here is completely done. I'm not going to add anything more here except maybe dead trees and stuff coming up here on both sides too. Dead trees up here and everything. Tons of little dead trees coming up. Smaller. Because technically you want to make them really small as you get up towards the sky. And they get a little bigger as you come down, of course. Because I want the viewer to kind of look at this painting and go, I'm not going down there. I'm not going down there. I get my fingers right, There's zombies down there. I'm not even sure, man. There's like hundreds of gravestones and tombstones on there. What the hell? What is this? It's just like a forgotten land, a forgotten graveyard from hundreds of years ago, maybe, but I'm not really too sure. I just kind of come up with these stories and think about possibly all the different scenarios when I'm kind of creating this particular painting. And a lot of people don't like these type of paintings, but I do like these dark and foreboding type paintings. Post-apocalyptic type paintings, with, fog floating through and, hovering over the tombstones, or, the gloomy looking sky and stuff back there, and like I said, I was really working on this painting heavily a few nights ago, man. Probably on Thursday night or something, like Wednesday night, maybe 3 or 4 nights ago. And it's really hard to pull yourself away from these paintings, because once you got the sky done, I did all this in one night. You kind of just keep going. You kind of create your own little story, like I've said about 1,000 times. You just create a story. You got this part done up from here to here, right? And then you start creating something down here, over here, down, down, down. Center part's a graveyard. Maybe there's zombies down there. Maybe it's the land of the dead. Who knows, I think I'm just going to... This is only a tentative title, Valley of the Dead. I think that's not a bad title for this particular painting. And that's why I wanted to kind of make this center section right here just strictly a graveyard. You can't see much detail down here, except the heads of the tombstones popping up, all these little black specks and everything. You can vaguely make this out. See, it's actually going to go, the graveyard's actually going to go down to about right here. I got to add a lot more detail down here, gravestones and stuff like that. More up here, shadow them out a little bit where they're actually planted, the tombstones. You got to make a little shadow around them and stuff to kind of give the impression that they're being, the moon is basically reflecting on them, and the shadows are naturally going to go kind of like this way, or they're going to kind of go this way, So you give the viewer kind of like a little story, That's what I'm trying to create here. This is kind of perfect. I was kind of thinking about, like I said, Valley of the Dead is only a tentative title. I kind of like that title a lot. Now, when I finish, I'm not going to show this painting again until it's completely finished, like I did my other 2 previous paintings, Shadowlands and The Road Home. So this is basically a long ways to go on this painting, but I kind of wanted to show you what I was doing after those 2 paintings were completed in recent weeks or a month or so. So basically, there we go. See right down there. I like these little. I like the way how it slopes down into this valley down here. These big high rock plateaus, and stuff like that. Groundwork and stuff like that, and they all kind of have that really, creepy downward slant. It could be a mile to go down to this graveyard from any of this directions, right here or down here, something. Just sinks really deep down here this way. So basically, you got a valley, like I said, you got a valley that you're looking down at. I kind of like looking at those kind of paintings and doing these type of paintings, because I feel that if you were to make the graveyard completely level with these rocks, it would be okay. But I wanted somebody to kind of get the sense that there's a deep valley here, a deep graveyard. It's not wise probably to venture down there unless you have a loved one that's buried down there. But I kind of consider it like this. I'm always coming with these old stories. This could, like I said, this could be an ancient graveyard that's been here for hundreds of years. And not too many people have ever ventured down in this area. And maybe they never came out. Maybe they did venture down in this area and they never came out. Or maybe they went too far this way, and this is the beginning of the graveyard. Maybe it goes further when these darker areas over here. I didn't want to bring this lightness all the way up this way. I wanted to have kind of like a dark section here where the graveyard kind of maybe starts, and then it comes this way, and it kind of gets a little bit lighter because of the reflection of the moon up here, right? So basically, I'm trying to create a little story here, and you can, like I said, you can use your own interpretation of what you think it means and everything like that. But I know what I did from the beginning to this point right here, and I know where I'm heading with the painting, stuff like that. So, anybody can work their own scenario into this painting and kind of decide, what does it mean to them? what does it mean to their friends who see it, or the public who sees it when it's completely finished, or even at this particular stage right here, right? This stage right there is, even though it's a long ways from finished, is still, let me get some water here first. I got my ambient music in the background, kind of thumping away. I kind of like that, you know, that dark background, of course. Of course, I'm off on my job again 5 days in a row. This is my first day off, so I won't have to go back till next, whatever. In 6 days, 5 days, and I can do a lot more in this painting. I actually got to kind of wait for some of this stuff to dry. But we see with the poker here, all this stuff is kind of wet a little bit. It's not thoroughly dry right here. It's kind of got some, I textured the rocks where they're kind of a little more bulky looking. So basically it takes longer for the paint to dry. It just becomes like more solid, you know, basically. Instead of like a smooth surface, which dries within a few days, these will take a little bit longer. All these things right here and over here and up like this. So basically, I kind of got to wait for this painting maybe another few days or a week or so before you start adding massive detail into this section here. Maybe more rock formations and more trees sticking up, dead trees, of course. Got to have dead trees in a graveyard, right? That's what it's all about, right? Oh, we're up to 11 minutes. I'm doing pretty good. It's the same thing over here too. You see all these, the beginnings of all these trees coming up, just a few of them. I didn't have time to do a lot that night. It was already like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. I decided to call it wraps. I wrapped it up basically. And I kind of been letting it sit for about, oh, let me see, it's 4 days now or something like that. I think Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 or 4 days. So basically, like I said, it is still wet in some of these areas. That's why I gotta be very careful around the easel so I don't bump it or touch it or something like that. So yeah, so like I said, so much more details gotta be put here, so much more. Same with this side, same with this side. You know, in the smaller detail up here, the trees up here, smaller trees here, up towards the, well, you want to call it the beginning of the graveyard or the horizon, or where the moon in the sky kind of, you know, collapses down on the graveyard, so to speak. So, like I said, and I'm also, like I said, this section here and this section here are going to be, once I get all this dry, all this section is going to be built up more, so you're even looking further down at the graveyard. I want this section to be much higher than what it is right now. This was just the beginning section to kind of give the impression that you're looking downward at the graveyard from this section here. So all this stuff is going to be raised up a little bit. You know, so you're real, like I said, like you're standing on top of a small mountain or something in these areas here. Same with this over here. So you know, I just come up with these weird stories. You know, I mean, you could, like I said, you can come up with your own particular story on this, you know, and stuff. It's up to you, but yeah, I have this painting is actually turning out good. I've actually already started another painting, and that's really going to be awesomely cool. Did I say awesomely cool? Oh my God. What the hell am I, 17 years old? Yeah. Anyway, so I got another video I'm going to be doing later on tonight. Spidey doing a movie of a review of Transamerica. I'm going to probably post this particular video tonight in the Transamerica with Spidey Presents too. So I got to get this one out of the way first, because the paint stinks. And I put it in a special room where I can't, you know, it doesn't affect my health or nothing like that. Like I said, it's just artist oils and, you know, acrylics doing the trees and stuff like that. You know, it's just all kind. You know, like I said, I don't use a lot of different, you know, acrylics to a certain degree, but mainly artist oils, because you can blend a lot better, I believe. Even though a lot of people use acrylics and watercolors and all that kind of stuff, and, you know, pastels and stuff like that, you can still blend all that stuff really properly too with the right solvents and stuff like that. I just use linseed oil to thin out my paints, you know, if I need them really thin to create like these trees and stuff like that, dead branches and whatever, zillions of little tiny twigs. And I actually use jelly pens. Jelly pens, you can buy those at any art store in the world. They're really super fine. I mean, they go check out jelly pens on eBay and stuff like that, and they're art supply houses and stuff like that. They're very popular for writing and doodling and all kinds of stuff. Zillions of colors to choose from. You can get a really small line too, like the size of a hair practically, you know. So all these twigs will look more realistic because it's all be much smaller. You won't be able to make it out very well, but you know it is there. You look really close at the pin, you go, hey, there's all kinds of little twigs popping out from these big tree trunks, you know, and dead trees. Of course, you got to put the detail in. You got to put the detail in. That's what it's all about. But anyway, and like I said, I'm not sure where. I think we're going to probably do these sections probably in a couple days. Finish off these sections first and the center section. You know, make it nice and gloomy and doomy and maybe possibly foggy. But I don't want to take away from the detail of the tombstones that you can see right there. So I might have to keep the fog down to a minimum. Maybe no fog at all. I'm not too sure. Then once all this part is completely done up to here, when I'm satisfied with it, this is done up here, we're going to finish off the bottom part. The bottom part on both sides, right here, right there. So, like, I could just leave it the way it is. You know, I could make it, you know, it's not too bad the way it is, actually. You know, but I kind of want to peek these out a little bit higher, right here. You know, like little cliffs, so to speak, you know, and you're standing on a cliff looking downward at this valley. You know, I don't know if you want to go down there, like I said earlier. I don't know if you want to go down there because, you know, maybe you may not come out. You may not come out. You know, this could be, well, you know, this could be your final resting place, possibly, you know, along with all these hundreds of tombstones and, you know, grave markers and all kinds of stuff down here, man, you know. And like I said, back here, you're not sure where in the hell all this shit goes back here. You know, could be just like, you know, this graveyard could actually stretch all the way back here where it's dark back here and stuff like that. You know, but you want to kind of keep the main focus of the detail right in this section here. You know, you're not going to be able to see the tombstones way back here. Way too small. You know, this is about as small or as large as you want to make the tombstones. Otherwise, the painting gets it gets out of focus. Not really out of focus, but what it really does is it's out of perspective. You got to keep a really nice perspective here, and that's what's really important. A nice perspective. You know, this actually the tombstones look much smaller, of course, than the sides, of course, and that's what you're trying to achieve here. You're trying to give the viewer a sense of a valley down here, like I've said 80,000 times already in this video. You know, so you got to keep this. You're not going to make anything larger in here with the tombstones. This is about as big as you want to make them, just enough to make out the detail. And of course, you look at the name of the painting on the bottom. You know, once it's reproduced and put out as a limited edition print, of course, will have to come up the title. And right now, like I said, Valley of the Dead is pretty good. There might be a better one out there if I think about it, but right now I kind of wanted to go with that, just to kind of give the impression that this is a dead graveyard. Maybe this is like 1,000 years old. It's been there 1,000 years, 500 years. Who knows? Who knows? You know. I think once you see this painting completely finished, you're gonna really like it. Right now, I'm pretty damn satisfied with it. We're at about 18 minutes and 50 seconds so far in this video. I'm gonna kill the video in a couple minutes. So, like I said, if you want to comment on this painting, and maybe, you know, if you think that you have a better title for this painting, you know, post a comment. Otherwise, I'm kind of, I at least, like I said, when I do titles for my paintings, I usually write down a half a dozen different titles on a little notepad, and I kind of just whittle them down to the one I think works the best. I have a few other ones I have written down, but I kind of like the Valley of the Dead. I don't know why. It just seems to fit this painting perfectly so far. I like this. I like this. I like this painting, man. Look at all these tombstones, man. Look at all. I'm still gonna bring the tombstones way down here too, and this is about where they're gonna end, right about in this area here. You know, I'm going to have a few more scattered out here and there and over there. You know, not up in the hills, but just in the center section. You know, maybe even have a footpath somewhere down here where you can actually venture down here if you wanted to and go into this particular graveyard. So I'm kind of thinking about doing that, where you see all this light stuff right here. You know, a really small footpad, like the road's been traveled hundreds of times over the years, the decades, the centuries, going down into the graveyard, maybe to visit loved ones or to see if there's anything really evil or creepy down there. You know? You may not come out, you may not come out, you may not come out. Okay. Well, like I said, if you want to comment on this painting, you know, give me the thumbs up, you know, come up with another title besides Valley of the Dead, you're more than welcome to do that. I'll consider it. You know, I'm open for suggestions. I always am, you know. But like I said, I kind of look at different titles and I just kind of find which one fits the best, you know. And right now, it's like I said, it's Valley of the Dead, but it could change. It could change. So next time, like I said, next time you see this painting, it's going to be completely finished. So I just wanted to give you a sneak preview of this painting to kind of get you know, you can critique it, you know, I can critique it, you can critique it, you know, and stuff like that. I told you I was going to do this. I was going to give you a sneak peek about 3-4 days ago on my last video. So anyway, I'm going to get going. And like I said, if you want to subscribe, you want to comment, give me the thumbs up, you know, and stuff like that, I'd appreciate it. I'm more interested in comments, to tell you the truth, than, you know, views are okay, because if you're looking at it, that's a view for me automatically on my view board and stuff like that. So, you know, that would be very helpful if I could just get some feedback on this. I do have a few people that like the feedback on my my paintings, which is really nice. I do appreciate that very, very much. But like I said, if you want to comment and do the normal shtick on my description below with the comment section below, feel free to do so. And like I said, we are going to be doing another Spidey video in just a little while, and that's going to be posted probably tonight too. So this will be posted, Spidey Presents will be posted tonight. And I told you before I was going to do Transamerica. I got that all queued up. I got all the crib notes written down, and you know, and stuff like that. So that's going to come tonight. It's not even 9 o'clock at night. So until next time, folks, we will see you later on YouTube. How about that? You take care now, man, and be careful. Don't go down there. See you later, man.